Hey, everybody. Hey, how you
Hey,
doing, Steffen?
I'm doing fine, Andrew. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. I haven't been on streaming too much lately, and it's a pleasure to get back on with you
Excellent.
and be here.
Excellent. Good to see you.
Good to
So,
see
yeah,
you.
to remind everyone, today is going to be photography as meditation with Steffen Kaplan. So, it's going to be a good one. Nice one.
It is.
And
It is. It's great that we're streaming to all the groups that you've created and done so much work for
thank
and
you.
with. You've done so much for the photography community. It's always a sincere pleasure to be here with you. And plus, you're just such
Excellent.
a great guy.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Cool. So, we already have people coming in. So,
Good.
I think
Good.
it's
Excellent. Oh yeah.
Rahadyan,
Hi, Radyan.
Long
How are
Island.
you? Good
Yeah.
to see you, buddy.
And then
Who else
I see a
is who
few
else is
Facebook
venturing?
see a few Facebook users. So let
Okay,
me just remind
okay.
everyone that
That's
to
right.
please give StreamYard permission to show
Mhm.
your name and your profile pics so I'll be able to credit you when you comment or ask questions. That is the link above, or the link above, but just underneath the live video that says StreamYard.com/Facebook. And in general, welcome everybody. Where are you watching from? Let us know.
That's right. But, it's really wonderful. I'm so glad to be here because, it's something that has this whole topic of photography as meditation, really has taken on a whole new dimension for me,
Sure.
and made me just get through the past 2 years in many ways. And it's a pleasure to be here to share some of my insight with everybody. I am by
Great.
far and no means an expert when it comes to meditation. I
Sure.
am simply here to talk about how I use photography and how I discovered that it really is my way of bringing
Sure.
peace into my life,
Well, let's
you know?
let's welcome some people first before we jump into all that. But
Sure, 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 sure.
we have Jay from California.
Hey, Jay,
Good to see you here.
thanks for being here.
Someone you know, Stefan. Tim is
Oh,
here.
Tim, Mr. Tim
Do
Soane,
the
do
little
the
dance
Tim,
for
do the
Tim.
Tim. No, 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 no. This
It's
is the Tim. Always
good to
got to
see you,
do the Tim.
Tim. And then he's saying a shout out from
Shahola, the
Ocho.
lands of the bears and the turkeys and everything else that moves in nature.
Sweet. And then we got someone from Finland.
Finland. Wow, a bucket list place for me. I hope I get to go one day. I really do.
Yeah, that's what I love about the group. So international,
Yeah, I love the international group on Facebook
Someone says,
and
hey,
social in general. It's one of my favorite things about being on social media is connecting with everybody around the world. It really
yeah,
is.
yeah, it's nice. So once again, please give StreamYard permission to show your
Yes.
name and profile pics so we can give you
Yeah,
credit
we
when
want
you
to see your
comment.
picture and name.
That's right. You want to know who is that?
I want to know who's coming here from Finland and
That's right.
Australia and Zimbabwe and
That's
everybody.
right. Yeah, all over the world. So
How's California doing these days, Andrew?
good. I was going to say the temperature is very strange in Los Angeles. It's sort of like it'll
Okay.
start getting cooler,
Hmm?
and then it'll decide no, not yet, and then it'll warm up and go up to like 80. I think it's like 88 or 89 today.
Hmm.
So it'll warm up for a few days, and then it'll go down, and then it'll go down pretty low, and then it might bump back up again.
It's been the same here too in northern New Jersey. It
Yeah.
was actually a horrible day most of the day today. All of a sudden, around 2 or 3 hours ago, the sun came out, and I was crazy. I had so much to get ready for this show. Hi, Anita.
Yes.
It's just that the light was brilliant outside on all the fall foliage, and I was about to run out, but I said, "Let me get ready for the show first."
Yeah. And Jay's saying that crazy or weird weather where she is as
Yeah.
well.
We're in that time now where the weather just shifts every day around the world. It's
Right.
crazy.
Rose is here. She says,
Hey,
enjoying the
Rose.
photos,
Rose,
Stefan.
yes, from New Zealand, my
Yeah.
friend Rose. Wonderful to see you, Rose. Thank you for being here.
Nice.
She's a wonderful photographer.
Excellent.
And New Zealand's another bucket list item of mine. And when I go, I will find Rose. Rose was my grandmother's name, so I'm very fond of it.
And Anita says, good morning from Bali. Nice.
Bali. Oh, I'm jealous. Now I'm jealous. Envious in a good way.
And before we begin, let me just give a quick shout out to StreamYard. So
Yes. Dream. Oh,
wanted-
wait. Let's give a real shout out. Here we go. Here we go. With the mug.
that's right. I got my pillow behind me.
It's only water, folks.
On an easy but professional way to do live streaming, you can get $10 credit when you sign up with StreamYard for your live streaming with this link.
Look
And
at that.
is also here. You can also message me if you want me to send it to you directly. And before
Isn't
we
it absolutely amazing how StreamYard and streaming has like what it's done for us and how it's brought us all together even more?
they're very smart with the whole ease of use focus. You know,
That's
that
the
was the
number one
last.
thing.
Yeah,
That's the number one thing. It's too technical with many other platforms.
yeah,
And although, there's something to be said for those really high-end platforms, StreamYard
yeah.
is, in my opinion, is the way to go, you
Yeah,
know?
so a quick little video from StreamYard, and then we will
Let's do it.
begin letting
I love that
Steffen
video.
show
Let's
his
do it.
great work. So here we go. Thanks. Thanks, StreamYard, for making it all possible. Cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we have
I was just
video.
watching their show this morning where they unveiled so many new gadgets and so many new things, even StreamYard teams. It's going to be wonderful to have a team member in the background with you and not have to futz around with everything
Sure.
anymore.
Nice. We got
Yeah.
George from
Hey,
Nottingham,
George.
UK, who's also one of my moderators. Thank you for being
Wonderful,
here.
wonderful. Thank you for being here, George. I appreciate it. Love that picture of you and your son or daughter on your shoulders.
Yeah,
It's
sweet,
beautiful.
sweat photo.
Very sweet.
And then my
I miss
friend,
those. I miss those days. I have a moody 15-year-old teen now. Who's a wonderful kid. Absolutely wonderful.
I know. People in general, people are moody, right? And then my friend Byron says, I never use StreamYard, so he just signed up. Cool.
Byron, you're gonna love it. And watch all the shows and just learn. They have a great archive of YouTube videos, and they're really great tech support too.
Yeah, they have cool little features,
Yep.
One of them, which is, it's quite nice this fall weather. In general, it's cooling down. So I love the leaves in the fall.
Whee! I love that. I love that. I got to start playing well. Oh, and you know me with leaves and fall foliage. So I've been a kid in a candy store. I just love this time of the year.
All right, cool. So
Okay.
shall we? Once you
Wanna
introduce
dive in
yourself,
and
let people
sure.
know, and then let me know when you want me to share the slideshow.
Yeah. Well, you can put up the screen and I'll
Put it up
start
now?
talking about,
Cool. I'll jump over this.
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So I'm here today to really just have a really casual and really relaxed, of course, since it's about photography as meditation. It has to be a relaxed discussion. No, big production. But I'm here to really share my insight about how it's helped me so much during the pandemic. It's helped me before, but more so now than ever. Let's put it this way. We all know how crazy life's been. And between work and home life and working at home and all that jazz is that I wish I could sit and meditate like this young lady that I captured just yesterday, I swear, in Times Square. I was walking to an event at Carnegie Hall that I was covering. And it was my first live event in a while. And I walked by her and I just walked in front of her. I thought for sure she would feel me, my energy, or see me or whatever. She was in a zone and she was meditating there for at least 15 minutes. So I finally avoided traffic. Don't play in the middle of traffic in Times Square. Rule number one, except unless you're a trained pro like me. And I just snapped this photo. But my point is that I can't even do it in a quiet house most of the time, let alone like this young lady. God bless her for doing that in the middle of Times Square like that.
Right.
But if, I'm about finding my peace in nature now these days. So if you go to the next, actually, I have control. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're in control.
That's right. I am in control. My peace, where I find my inner peace, is in nature preserves and state parks and many other places, which we'll talk about. But for me, being out in nature, being in the beauty of the trees and the water and around me and everything else in Ramapo near where I live, and another place called the Celery Farm Nature Preserve, and many other places that other people are near. Just visit them, and it brings a sense of calm about you, within you and around you, and it's just my happy place. So this was a scene I captured one day at sunset with a lady who was sitting there, who I actually ended up talking to all the way down as we hiked down, and she was just so peaceful that night that this photo really speaks volumes about how I feel when I'm there. only I was able to capture her in the moment instead of me. Not big on selfies when I'm outside, and we'll talk about some of my points, my finer points about not doing things when you're out and about, trying to find that inner peace in nature, that even I have to teach myself not to do, and which is like get on social and other things. I don't do that when I'm out, only when I'm home or back out of the places that I go to. Now, most of us feel like this these days, right? Or have felt like this at a
And I'm going to
certain
jump to full screen view. Yeah. So
sure.
people can see.
At a certain point, yeah, my face isn't important. The photos are.
It looks great.
But the point is that this is how most of us have felt over the past 2 years. Just want to cover our eyes and just like say, "Oh my God." But I took this at Rockefeller Center before the pandemic, but it's by an artist. Oh God, I can't remember his name right now, but he's wonderful. And he's created another sculpture recently in Jersey City that now I feel really makes me feel what's going on these days. Everybody wants more quiet. Everybody wants peace. And this is now in Jersey City at Newport, where I used to live. And I captured this just last week. I've been dying to get down there, but I use all my photos, by the way. Everything I do, I have my own stock image library. I have a photo practically for anything I want to illustrate in life. And I always advise everybody to do the same. Don't just walk around documenting life. And when you need a photo, you'll have a photo to use. Just like I've had these 3 or 4 that I've just shown you to talk about some of the finer points I want to illustrate. So, but once again, life's been spiraling. Yes, I have a photo for everything. A little bit out of control at times. And at times it's very colorful, but yet a little out of focus and a little crazy. But what I bring to the picture, pardon the pun, but is that peaceful feel when I'm out in nature. Now, this was a photo I captured at a friend of mine's exhibit, Alan Frame, who is my mentor from ICP and many other places years ago. And he had an exhibit about 4 years ago in Midtown. And I captured this photo, but it's literally how I feel. And I love the feel to this. But the point is that the same feel that this woman has looking out at nature and that he has at looking at this photo of her looking out is how I walk around when I'm outside and how I feel once I go over the photography and moments that I've captured. But it stays with me for quite a few hours after I've been out and about shooting. And that's what I need. That's how I feel focused, creative, at peace, and just comfortable in life these days, is by being out and about. So when I go outside and I'm at Ramapo or I'm at Celery Farm, there's several things I don't do. My phone is on silent mode. I don't take calls. I don't make calls unless it's an emergency within reason. I'm running late and I have to call somebody, because I do run late a lot when I go there because I get in a zone and I forget about time. But I shut off my phone that way, not completely off, but I don't ping anybody. I don't text anybody. I do not get on Facebook. I do not get on Twitter. And I definitely don't get on Instagram, because I'm not about posting while I'm out. I'm about tranquility and finding that peace when I'm out and about. So, and the one thing that I found that photography has given me is the gift of focus. I'm not an unfocused person in general, but I definitely am not the most organized person in the world when it comes to certain things either. Things have been, like I said, all over the place. Kid at home, everybody's working at home. We're all a bit nuts these days. But when I go out and I'm in the middle of the mountains or I'm in the middle of nature, it brings me that focus and that clarity that I need. So let me stop for a second and see if we have any questions from anybody, any comments from anybody that Andrew may want to put up. I want to make this a very engaging hour. If anybody wants to engage with us, that's what StreamYard is all about. So if you have any comments, you have any questions about anything, please let us know.
People taking it in.
Sure.
So, we have Daniel
Switzerland.
Hello from Switzerland.
Hello.
Someone, Facebook user.
Good afternoon from Milford, PA. Photography is your zen. That's right. And I say it. There really is a gift of focus. I agree. Absolutely. I love when people just chime in and share their opinions and their insight and their thoughts. But,
Yeah.
you could leave us both on for a minute, Andrew. So,
Sure.
the one thing that also is about social media, you think about it.
Your friend's here, though.
Jonathan, my partner, my co-producer of the Spin It Social Hour. By the way, I'll just give a little plug here. I have
Sure.
a show that I started when the pandemic hit called the Spin It Social Hour, where photographers share their work and journeys. And I started it when the pandemic hit because I wanted to help photographers around the world get their work out there and share their stories. So I've done 50 shows. I've taken a little break here and there because there's been much going on work-wise. Looking for more work and many other things. But Jonathan has been a wonderful co-producer and a dear friend who's been just a great, great person to work with. And anyway, you can find my Spin It Social Hour on YouTube. After the show, I will put all the links in the comments so you guys can find it and anything else that's related to my work.
Sure.
But thank you for being here, everybody. So what I was going to say, go ahead.
Steffen, I was going to say we do have a question.
Oh, good.
So
Great.
from George, one of my moderators. He says, do you ever feel guilty for switching off or not taking calls? I find it really hard to respond to people. Work and friends contact me a lot when I'm out. I feel obliged to respond to them. I think a lot of people find that difficult.
Well, George, that's a great question, and it's a great point. I started out that way, George, but you know what? We have to draw the line at a certain point. Now, if you're on a break or you're on lunch hour, I think it's your hour, really, but that's up to you, and that's ever a personal decision with everybody. But also, I think that, thank you, Jonathan, a series of master classes of the Spin It Social Hour. I'm humbled and I'm thankful. Thank you, Jonathan. And he had a lot to do with that by helping me. But back to George's question. I only feel guilty, and I get yelled at sometimes even by my other half, because if there is an emergency, and something, I do need to be more aware. So, okay, let me take a step back. I may look at my phone a little, but I try not to be on social that much. I've gotten in the habit, George, of checking for the most important thing. If something's really important, then I'll have to interrupt my hour or two that I'm out. But generally, the time that I go out, unless it's a family emergency, which thankfully never happens, I need that time. I have to have that time. It's my time. I can't find it any other place and any other time. I've come to that conclusion. So I hope that answers your question. If you have any follow-ups, just let me know. But one of the things I was going to Rose says, it is lovely to find someone who thinks about nature on similar thoughts to me. I think there's a lot of people out there that think like us. I think that the pandemic has made us even more, at least myself even, and I've always been 100% transparent about my life. Most people know that. I don't get in personal stuff, but in general, my life is an open book. But no skeletons in my closet. But the bottom line is that I think the pandemic has helped us be, I feel it's made me even more transparent and truthful and straightforward about things. Life is short, folks. We've lost a lot of people, and I'm all about just enjoying more things these days, and more than anything, finding some inner peace. So, but the one thing I will say about social media, it's sort of a double-edged sword. We know that. I'm in social. I'm a social media and visual consultant, by the way, and a live stream producer. I've done work with Pulitzer Prizes, with AARP, with many big organizations around the world, and I produce live streams for big people on LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. You can find all that on my LinkedIn. But what I wanted to say was that it's a dangerous thing at times that we, even myself, for a long time, haven't been able to control our addiction to social media. And I'm trying to get better and better with it. It's a battle. It's a battle for me because I'm in it. I live it. It's my way of earning a living. It's my living. I'm sure a lot of people are missing out on that much needed time. It is. It's difficult, George. It really is. But social media is a drug in many ways. Listen, the studies have proven all that.
Yeah, I think it's made that way, right? So, I mean,
of course, it's been
Facebook is trying to make you addicted to it.
Yeah.
So
well, we watched those interviews, right? We watched some interviews with those developers. If we've watched them, I have. And listen, it was a real eye opener because we want to deny it, but we can. It's like a cigarette or anything else. I don't smoke, but it's like that. My phone is like a cigarette to me, I guess, in many ways. But the thing is that I'm trying to break the habit more and more. It's a big battle. I'm not going to lie. Social media is a two-edged sword, as we see connection, but we also, it's true, Rodney. It is true. But I think I'm winning more and more. It just takes time. Do you have a little like bump? I don't know what Byron means.
I think
If you
he's
can
saying that getting a little like bump is like an addiction too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Brian. If that's
Right.
your point, absolutely, it is. It's like hitting a slot machine, right? You post a photo, and right, and all the pings come in, and you're like, wow, wow, wow. Okay, good point. Let me stop there. Hold on. Let me read this comment. Been trying to make an extended break from social media, but here I am. But this is, I think, a little better than normal social.
Yeah,
Not
this
to
is
discourage
more in
others. So
depth.
right, we're getting to some quality time here that we're talking about something important, and it's not a waste of time. So, not saying that all
That's
social is a
right. We
waste
don't
of
waste your
time.
time here.
No, we do not waste your time in general. Let me not make that a point. But what's important also is that, sorry, I was going to say, and then I lost my train of thought for a second. Very true. If I post something in a group and it doesn't get any reaction, I'm worried if I did. Oh, that was my point. Thank you, Rodney. You actually made me think. So, I was interviewing David Gonzalez, who's one of the senior editors at the New York Times, senior writers at the New York Times, and Times, a colleague of mine and a dear friend who I've known for years. And now I had the honor of interviewing him on my Spinach Social Hour for my 50th show, live from Photoville about a month ago. He has a great exhibit there still till December 1st called Bronx Life. And Byron says, funnily enough, the images I take for me are not for my clients, I'm sorry. Funnily enough, the images I take for me, not for my clients, actually track better on social media. Whatever, we never know what's going to hit on social. I posted a photo that Andrew was cracking me up about the other day with a pigeon. I don't have it ready for you guys. I'm sorry.
It's
But
iconic.
but this pigeon has 1,000 views on LinkedIn. Okay. I'm like, what's up? It's a pigeon in a hole in a wall in Jersey City. And it's like the comments that it's gotten are insane. But whatever turns people on, you never know, and whatever hits people and strikes people. But anyway, about social media, let me just get to this point before I forget it again.
Sure.
Is that so Rodney was saying something about social and likes and everything else. So David Gonzalez was saying, and it's true. Listen, I am all about quality over quantity. If we're only posting on social media to feed our approval rating on social, and I'm not saying anybody's doing this, I'm just making a point here, including myself. If we're only trying to feed the beast, I think that's a good way of putting it. If we're trying to feed the social media beast, then we're losing our love of photography. Our love of photography and our love for visuals, which is my biggest passions in life, as everybody knows, if not the biggest, is that I take pictures for me. I love photography. I love having these moments to look back on. They just make my life that much better. I love colors. I love shapes. I love angles. I love patterns. That's what photography is about for me. In the past, it's been more photojournalistic. Now, I started out, this is funny, because I started out in life as a photographer years ago, documenting street life in New York. Now, that's pretty crazy, always doing that in terms of capturing the crazy moments and other stuff. But I also focused for 10 years on capturing and documenting the NYPD. So, and street life and crime and everything else in the life of cops back in the days. Let's not get into the whole police thing here. I'm just talking about art and photography, but I'm sorry, could I see that comment again for a minute? Maria is a wonderful, wonderful person who does so much great work. Shout out to the Bronx Documentary Center. Please check them out online. They do so much work for their community and beyond. I love what they're about. True, you're so transparent, Steffen. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Many times you made my day with you. Thank you. And you make my life by being so open and honest and loving with your comments. Thank you. But the thing is that David was saying that if we're only posting to get all these likes and everything else. We need a reality check. And you know what? David says, you think I'm transparent? David is like, whoa. You have to get to know David sometimes because he is 100% Bronx, New Yorican born, great guy. And he's my man. I love him to death. He is the man when it comes to keeping it real about many things. But David was saying, you need a reality check if that's what you're doing. That's not what photography is about. Posting on social and looking for likes and everything else. Enough with all that, really. Photography is about feeding our inner passion and desires and everything else, and also pleasing other people with our art and making them happy. So I think I've said enough about that. So much this point, there's way too much content being pushed that has too little time, thought, and energy put into it. Absolutely. It makes a huge degradation if what we accept as quality. Absolutely, Byron. Let me tell you something. Everything I post has a reason. Everything I post has a rhyme or reason. Everything I post is strategically posted in certain ways. And then there's many other things that I post just because I want to make people feel good. It's not feeding my desire for likes and shares. Sure, I ask people sometimes to share certain things if it hasn't gotten a certain amount because I want it to get out there because I think it's good. It may be the algorithm, it may be many things that's controlling the reason it hasn't gotten out there that much. But I wanted to get out there for art's sake and for the passion of photography and everything else that I put it out there for, not for pure likes. No BS about that. Anybody could try to call me out on that, and I'll take them to court with it. So it's been a while since I've been able to take the time to chill and watch one of these shows. It's an important tonic that I hope to make more time for after taking some personal matters, including a move. You know, Radian, I'm glad you could be here. I'm glad this could help you with that. And I'm glad it can help me bring it to you and help some people out there with some of these thoughts, because we've got a lot on our plates these days. We've got to try to find some inner peace. And even if it's for 30 minutes, even if it's for 15 minutes, take a walk in the morning, look at the leaves, look at everything else, and just soak it in. Art is for art. Likes are for validation. No shame for the need. Yeah. Yeah. No, no shame on anything anybody does. I'm not judging anybody. During the pandemic lockdown out here on Long Island, I ran out of subject matter that I hadn't visited before. I'm looking forward to that changing in 2022. Yeah. Listen, we're all, more of us at least, are vaccinated. More of us are able to get out more. And it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? God, I hugged somebody I haven't seen in a while last night at Carnegie Hall. I felt so good. Oh, stop, really. I'm just humbled, and don't get me emotional. It's just wonderful to enjoy something as much as I enjoy photography and being able to share it with people and make them enjoy things as well. You know what? Like I said, we've all lost a lot of people in our lives and many other things. Some of us haven't, many of us have. And you know what? It just makes me feel good. You know, I wish I could fall asleep at a certain time after I've been walking during the day, because I'd feel I'd sleep better. I need to find that peace at night so I don't toss and turn as much in my sleep. Andrew, you talk to us for a minute about meditation. You meditate. I hope I'm not sharing anything private here.
No, it's good. It's good. So, yeah, I've been meditating since I think when I was in college in the mid late 80s, I got into Eastern philosophy. So I studied, Buddhism and Hinduism a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to school in Boston, I started going to the Cambridge Zen Center.
Mm.
And with the Cambridge Zen Center, I think you might have to turn the sound down on your side. I think I'm hearing a double up of my voice or something.
Oh, sure. Well, I'll mute myself.
Yes, I started going to the Cambridge Zen Center, which is around Boston area. And that taught me the discipline of, I guess, Buddhist or Zen meditation. So that was more like strict, good posture, focused meditation. And then in time, I got introduced to Siddha Yoga, which has a guru, and it's based on kind of a modern day Hinduism. And that has a mantra and meditation. And I'm very into that, and have done retreats or intensives, and which are amazing, a very intense experience. And it's something I've stuck to since, that was like late 80s, early 90s. So since the 90s, yeah, since the early
So let me ask
90s.
you this: what does photography bring to you? The way I've been talking about it, since you're here as well, I'd like to hear just
Sure. Right. So I mean, it's the same type of thing. It's a focus, it's concentration. And I think anything that you do concentrate on is like a form of meditation. So but it's different. Like, so if I'm going out and I'm shooting photos, I'm very focused and I'm looking for maybe a certain theme or idea I have at the moment. But for me, I also bring back my images and do photo composites. That is very much a form of meditation for me. I get into a zone, and it's kind of hard for me because it's hit or miss. Like, I know that there's artists out there that can kind of just pump out artwork. My thing is, if I get into a zone, I can do something that I think is good and it has a good reception. And other times I feel that if I'm not in the zone, it's not good. And that I can't just, kind of pump out work like other people can. It's a different
Well,
process for me.
what you're saying is really important. So if you bring the photos back up,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go
Let me
through
get
some more.
over to that.
So what you're and that's a perfect segue to this. So and we're gonna move through these because I have a lot. But when I'm out and I'm taking these photos, and 90% of these, by the way, in fact, 100% are taken these days with my Samsung S21 Ultra. I own no stock in Samsung. I just think that this S21 Ultra is a phenomenal camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
And
it full screen because there's some nice color there. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
do that for now.
So when I'm out and about, what I'm looking for is also the focus that it brings in the clarity. No pun on the picture, no pun on the weather. Is that this is a pretty colorful and clear picture? Is that it brings that focus and clarity that I need because I study the colors, I study the patterns, I study the shapes and sizes, the angles. For instance, here I'm doing a series. So if you look at this is one moment in the spring. Then the fall, I'm going to do winter. I'm going to do a couple of other. I'm going to do a whole
Nice.
collage of them. So I the same exact spot is I have it almost perfect. You're never going to get the exact place pinpointed, but probably. But this is good enough. Anyway, I'm studying all these things. So when I'm looking at this, the focus that I have made me realize one day I have a lot of tension in my traps, in my neck, in my jaw. I've had a history of TMJ and I grind my teeth and I have a very tight jaw. I should be
Wow.
a boxer. I could probably take a lot of blows. But the thing is that I could probably break a lock with my jaw at night. But the bottom line is that when I'm out and about, all of this just goes away.
Nice.
It just goes away. And I feel it when I'm out, when I'm looking at the colors, when I'm soaking in, the Japanese and many other people have talked about the whole concept of forest bathing. And it's true. It's about being out in nature and the secret to mindfulness and being in the woods, like nature is my playground, it's my happy place. And the term emerged in Japan in the 1980s as a physiological and psychological exercise about forest bathing. I think the term in Japanese, I wrote it down here, is called shirin yoku, taking in the forest atmosphere, forest bathing. But I snapped a little snapshot here from Nat Geo that had an article on it, and it explains it well. It says the purpose was twofold: to offer an eco antidote to tech boom burnout, and to inspire residents to reconnect with and protect the country's forests. Now that's really interesting because I really feel when I'm out and about, like I said, all the tension in my body is released. So I started thinking about it, and that's why I've started writing about this. I have an article that I blogged about on Medium. You could do a search for Steffen Kaplan on Medium, Spin It Social, and find the blog post I made about photography as meditation. And it's true because I come back and I'm a different person. If only I could do this 3 times a day, I think I'd be perfect, but I can't. But anyway, better late than never and better some than none, as I say. So, whether it's winter, spring, it doesn't matter to me how cold it is out. I can still find that when I'm out and about looking for these moments like this frosty leaf. It just really just brings out something that just makes me so peaceful. Or a little tree, a little decor out in the middle of this forest that somebody put during the blizzard last year. It was wonderful. I love this moment. But what it also does is it makes me reflect on life. I have a small house. This little house made me think about my small house, but it made me think about how peaceful that house is out in nature like that. And although I couldn't possibly live in a small house like that, it made me
Now I have the image of you in that house.
it made me more
Mhm.
peaceful thinking about, well, my house is bigger than that, so I'm pretty good then, right? And it just brought perspective, is my point, to things. And that's what photography does. It not only is about perspective, but it brings us perspective, right? So this photo does that for me. Now, this tree made me think. This is what photography does for me too. It makes me think more about important things in life. It makes me think about how crazy and how many curves there are in life and how many curveballs life throws us. But when I look at this photo, I look at the peace in the curves, and I look at the peace that all of this brings together: the cold, the blizzard, the snow, the curves, the beautiful tones and colors. So, although you think about curves in life being crazy, they can also be beautiful, right? So, all of this helps me more with stress in life and things in life. And when I'm out there, out and about, all of that craziness that's going on in my mind and other things in life, and I'm not falling apart here, folks. Don't get me wrong. It's
You
just that
you all right, Steffen? You all right?
it's just been
Giving you a
stressful
virtual
these
hug now,
past
right?
2 years. So anyway, but this is what it's done for me. So this is what I want to impart to people, and this is my point with this talk today. Same thing here. I was in Ramapo about 2 months ago. I mean, I was walking by the lake and the clouds were reflecting. This rock was in the middle of the lake, but it's like 3D. There's no special effects here, folks, except for Mother Nature. This is an actual boulder in a lake with a reflection of some leaves there, with a real leaf in the middle there, where the clouds are reflecting. The back of the rock is obviously a part of a reflection of the rock into the lake, but this is dreamy. I sat there for like 10 minutes looking at this and studying it, and then I captured it. But then I looked at the photo and I said, wow, this is going to be like a screensaver for me because it's just so peaceful and it's so clear. So another point I wanted to make about smartphones and photography is that, listen, I'm an old school guy. I still have a DSLR. Well, I have a mirrorless camera, Samsung NX1. It's pretty heavy. But I'm tired these days. My S21 Ultra is so clear, it's so powerful that if you think about it, people diss tech and social media and smartphones all the time, but yet I'm able to have it in my pocket and I'm able to bring it out when I need it so quickly or have it in my hand without using it. So social and the phone doesn't have to be that devil factor of
I think
social
the
media and having a
quality
phone and that
I was gonna
having
say,
that
I think the
phone.
quality is getting better and better. I mean, they're,
Oh, it's
you know,
amazing. It's
more and
amazing.
more.
108 megapixels on most of these with huge file size, amazing 4 or 5 cameras on the phone now. So anyway, just beautiful stuff. I was in Harriman State Park. I saw all these lily pads just light up. Half of it was just the water. The other half was darker because of the shade. And it just made for this beautiful split in the middle there of the light on the lily pads and then the shade in the middle and then the ultra brightness in the background. The tones and everything just made me just so happy that day to capture this. Or you could be walking down the street, going to the supermarket. I have a supermarket where I get to walk through all this beautiful woodsy area. I take a shortcut. The benefits of living in the burbs. It took me a while to get used to that, but I realize how lucky I am. And these leaves were hanging, but the way I captured it by stretching my arms up and taking it overhead, which is a big stretch, but I was pointing my camera down. I focused it. I took a couple of snapshots, looked at how I did them, realized I had to position the camera a little better because I didn't have a ladder. But it makes you feel like you're floating in this photo. The leaves are floating with you and a little out of focus in the front, but it lends itself to the picture because everything else is in focus. The leaves on the right are in focus. The tree is sharply focused, the background. And so I love the mix between a little pan, a little and the sharp focus of the rest. Now, this is really a moment that I want to talk to people about. When you're out and you're looking at nature and you're trying to find those peaceful moments, this was a much bigger picture. I cropped it down a little, and then after I cropped it, when I was outside playing with it a little, I moved in a little tighter. And the special part to me about this is the beautiful grain of the wood that is part of this huge tree that came down. And then I realized the beauty to it is the mix and the overlay of the tree. No Photoshop here. It's just the way it is, with the trees in the background that were just beautiful, bright green. So it just made me feel so good that day. So part of that whole Zen of photography thing, it put me in a zone that day. And I was out for about an hour. I hadn't found anything great that day. I came upon this. This is when it hits you, folks, when you're out and about and you get that one shot. It doesn't have to be 50 shots. It doesn't have to be 10 shots. It could be that one shot from your walk that day that made your day. You'll walk out and feel great for hours or days about it. I now just love this picture. I'm going to have to print it one day. I've gotten back into printing on canvas prints and other things because I want to look at some of my stuff and not just on a screen. So here's another shot from a day out where, oh my God, it was just so beautiful. The colors and the clouds and the leaves in that water, pure reflection here, except for the leaves in the foreground of the clouds and the foliage. Just heaven. It's heaven. Or you could be walking in the city even, and the trees are, creating this beautiful shadow on this old window with the orange and the fall feel to it with the orange, with the fall light. It's just so peaceful and beautiful. Or you could be back in a nature preserve. Now, this is the power of the smartphones. You don't need to set up all this fancy equipment and everything. This was taken handheld, deep breath, steady hand at sunset in a very dark area in the Celery Farm Nature Preserve. And it just captured that beautiful purple in the background with the moss on the lake that is shined. It's like a gleam. It's like a sheet of ice at that magic hour at dusk. And then everything else just dark. I love this photo because it's just so beautiful and peaceful. So these are some of the things that you can get. So I want to take a break for a second and see if anybody has any comments and questions once again before we go through the next photos for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, there was this nice comment.
Sure.
And kind of quote.
Was asked why he practiced meditation photography. His response was, so I will see the tiny purple flowers by the side of the road as I walk to town each day. With an undefended heart, we can all fall in love with life over and over every day. We become children of wonder, grateful to be walking on earth, grateful to belong to one another and all creation. We find our true refuge in every moment, in every breath. We are happy for no reason. Now, I am going to step out here, and I think I know who this is, but he, for some reason, he didn't give Facebook permission. And I know he's on Facebook because he's one of my biggest, he's a great friend, great fan, great everything. I think that is, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank here. I forget it. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, it'll come to me. Oh, I can't remember everything these days.
Well, you could have him just type in the comments.
Yeah, who was that? Oh my God, I'm going crazy. It's so embarrassing because I was just with him a month ago. I'm drawing a total.
Jonathan says maybe Ed Leskin.
Edward Leskin. Sorry, Edward. Please don't hate me. Edward's a great friend. I spent a day with him at the the Museum of Industrial History in Pennsylvania. Amazing place. You guys have to go there and see it. Anyway, Edwards writes those epic comments. So hello, Rick. Nice to see you. Bonjour. I think he's French, so I'll say bonjour.
Steffen, I think it might have been Rick LeCompte since he.
Oh, that was Rick that said it. Rick, I'm so sorry it wasn't Edward Leskin. Rick, thank you for that beautiful, beautiful comment. You sound like Edward. Edward has that same beautiful way of writing about photography and life. So thank you, Rick. Merci beaucoup.
Salomon says very good session.
Pour l'environnement. Okay, I see. He's
Rose says
a
swans are
swan.
so electric.
Swans are electric. We'll talk about some animals next. I'm going to get into that in nature. Anything else?
Uh, she said, Rose says, please put these in a special book.
I'm going to try. That's one of my things on a list of 101 things to do. There's a great way to create books these days, not too hard. So I think I will sooner or later. Thank
And then
you, Rose.
a quick shout out to Adobe.
Yes.
Rose says that she has the same T-shirt as me that she got the other day. So
Oh,
this was from Adobe Max.
oh,
So,
nice. That's right. Shout out to that shirt and Adobe. Love Adobe.
yeah, that was a nice 3-day conference they had. Yeah.
You know, Photoshop is so prevalent in our life. It's amazing what a great contribution Adobe has been to society and tech and everything else. But getting to the next part here about some of these things. So, you know, nature and animals too, you know, being out and about. You know, one thing I found, the more you're out and about in nature and the more calmer you become out and about, animals have a special way of starting to relate to you. I'm not getting crazy here, like Dr. Doolittle or something, but I talk to them a little. They, I think, sort of respond back to me by being so calm around me and coming closer and closer to me.
Nice.
I'm careful with certain creatures because they can be a little touchy at times. Swans are fierce, but these swans who live in my neighborhood, I think they've migrated by now for the winter probably, are absolutely beautiful. And they had 2 babies. I don't have a picture of that, but this mother swan, and actually this is I think this is the father. My son pointed out if they have that large bump in the front of their head, they're a male, if I'm correct. But anyway, they're so gorgeous. And it was right there in front of me because you see the angle I got with my phone. I had to be right over it. So peaceful with me now that they've gotten to know me. Also, the light. I have a whole technique I use called just look up, where if you hold your phone in a certain way, I'm using my phone as my webcam, so I can't illustrate it right now, but I hold my phone up like this, literally horizontal to the sky. And you get these great angles like this. But a special part of fall in the Northeast and many other places is that if the light is shining so brightly in the background, you get this amazing, like the foliage just lights up. It's like godly and heavenly. By the way, if you like my picture these days, my background I have work to do on. I haven't been live streaming much, so I have some new work to do on my background. But if my picture is clear, give me a thumbs up because I'm using my phone as my webcam through an app called Camo app. And it's amazing because look at the clarity from your smartphone as a webcam. Why shouldn't I use my smartphone when I do streaming? It's a pain. You have to take it down and stuff like that because I can't afford 2 phones, but man, it is clear. But anyway, getting back to photography here. The light, always look for the beautiful light. It brings so much peace to me when I'm out capturing the sun and the shade and the silhouettes. Reflections are very special and dear to me. I love capturing reflections and doing a lot of abstract photography and art with reflections. This was recently in a nature preserve, just trees and the foliage reflecting. No Photoshop, no filters, no anything. This is all 100% pure. Little toning, little bump in the vibrancy, but no Photoshop in general. No bumping it up the way people say.
Yeah.
This is a beauty. Now, I took this with my Pro NX1 camera. You can't tell the difference. I mean, you really can't. But this was taken with my Pro camera. Once in a while, I do break it out. And this was also in a nature preserve. But I love the conversion to black and white in this. I think I shot this in black and white. I don't think I converted it. So beautiful, beautiful thing. Here's another one, pure color, but with that black and white feel to it because of the clouds and trees at that moment. This was taken in the early evening, I remember. And then I do a lot of special effects stuff these days where I like to use the special zoom filters on my smartphone where I'll take it in what's called portrait mode. And then you can use the zoom filter to really just create this wonderful effect. And I just love the colors, the way they spread out, and they give you that amazing electric feel. Some people find it disorienting. I find it electric and stimulating. but that's to each his own and how people feel. Now, I also enjoy the bareness of winter and when the foliage comes down. This to me is just as peaceful as those other moments because although there's no color, it's the simplicity of the trees against the background with just everything gone and the sweep of the trees, just looking up, getting down low, and just getting the beautiful circular pan feel to this. Some color again, of course, with a barn and the beauty of fall. Same thing. Look up, use the light. Now, I used to walk through and pass benches like this. Now, what this has done to me over the past 2 years, it's made me stop and look and appreciate the stillness of life.
This
It's
looks a lot like my mom's backyard in upstate New York. It's
okay.
very similar
Beautiful. I
plush.
love it. This is throughout Celery Farm, there's these benches that have been dedicated to people who have contributed to the nature preserve, whether they're here or gone. God bless them. It's a bench that I walked by hundreds of times. That day I stopped and I finally started to reflect and think about the peacefulness of this bench, the peacefulness of these people's lives, and the peacefulness of the light and everything else around it. I took this shot in portrait mode on my phone, and then I used a little bit of the blurred effect to give it that effect around it. But it's just, I want to sit in that bench now all the time, just in the photo. I'm going to have to frame this and put it up because it brings me back to that moment that I need in life whenever things get crazy.
Nice.
And that is the beauty of photography and the Zen of photography. Now, while I'm on that topic, let me quickly give a shout out to the man who brought some of this in my head years ago. That is a dear friend who I've never met, but I've talked to, I've chatted with, I've been online with, I've edited his photos over the years to the New York Times and other big outlets. Jonathan Alcorn and Rienzi Ruiz is another photographer I want to mention who's in this great video. If you find it online, I'll put it in the comments afterwards in Google, called The Zen of Photography. And I sort of adapted and went further with this. They were talking a lot about street photography, and Jonathan lives in Venice Beach in California, by the way, Andrew.
Right.
And he talks about how all the stress leaves his body when he's photographing the beautiful Pacific Ocean and Santa Monica Piers and all these places. And it made me think. And years later now, it's come to fruition for me. So, Jonathan, thank you. Because it's helped me a lot and I've adapted it and gone further with it. But we're not looking for who discovered what when. It's how it helps us all. So, Jonathan, hats off to you. My hair's messed up. I'm not taking my hat fully off though. But anyway, so that's what that bench did to me. Here's a simple street I walked down or area in Ridgewood, New Jersey, many a times. God, I walked by this tree so many times. One day I stopped. The light was hitting it. I was like, this is it. And I just captured it. I shoot a lot of horizontals, but I do more verticals these days too. I just liked, it's a very wide tree, but I just wanted to come closer on the beautiful branches and the curves. And it looks like a giant bonsai tree, just gorgeous. And then I've gotten into a lot of macro photography too recently. I never was about macro photography, but God, this photo of this flower, I mean, it looks like a mandala, somebody told me recently. And you know what? It's true. It does, doesn't it?
Nice.
It's just gorgeous. Or the fall foliage once again. Let's go through some of these, the shadows and the texture and it all comes together in nature, folks. It'll help you so much to get out.
That means I have to do this now. I have to let the leaves fall because it goes so well
that's
together.
it. Do that, baby.
Similar
Do
color
it.
scheme, right? It's the same.
Absolutely, it works. It works. And then, or another one where they seem like they're floating off the branch because of the angle and the height I got on this. Or this is one of my, as they say in French, pièce de résistance. I speak French. Sorry. Once in a while, I like to throw it out there. But this was wild, Andrew. It was crazy. One day, the fog was rolling in, and then it rolled out, and it blew my mind. You would think this is Photoshop. It's insane. it turned black and white and gray on one side, and everything else was blue on the other. This is one of my favorite shots I've ever taken. I absolutely love it. I adore it. It's everything that I've ever wanted in a picture.
And there's a
And if you,
question for
huh?
you. There's a
Yeah, yeah,
question for
sure.
you as well. So Rahadjan asks,
Do you
do you
use a
use a
monopod?
monopod?
No, no, no. Handheld. That's how another thing. Nature has helped me calm myself that way. When I'm out and about, I can take a deep breath. I can hold it. I can hold my phone steady. And I think about it. I consciously breathe in and out, and I hold my phone steady. And my knees, when I'm bent, used to shake. They don't shake anymore. I can actually control my body better when I'm in a zone. So what I wanted to talk about today was all of that, because that's what it does for you. The more you're out in nature and the more you really assimilate with the nature and photography and bring it all together, it can help your body, it can help your stress, it can help your life. So I'm so glad that this is recorded too on StreamYard and through Facebook, because I want other people to learn from this, because some of the things I say, I may not remember. I can go back and reflect on them more.
Sure.
But anyway, this is with my friend Tim. We were walking, our friend Tim, in Bear Mountain one day. We took a break about a month ago. We had pizza. We went walking with his sister. And we had a wonderful Eileen. We had a wonderful day together, and they know my craziness. They saw me capturing this from all different angles, but it's that one rock in the little island area with those fall colors on it on the right, and the reflection and the curves. It just, oh my God, it made me so happy. That was my favorite shot of the day. This I captured with an infrared camera that a couple of friends sent to me. That taught me about an infrared camera. And I started experimenting with it. And this was in the fall, but in infrared. And it really, really is great to get into. I need to learn more about it. So I toyed around with it little. I need to toy around with it more. But getting back to the stillness of everything, look at this.
That's
I
nice.
was out and about, and it was all the moss was all over the lake, and a little sun was reflecting on the left. But that leaf with a smartphone, folks, I mean, the contrast and the colors and the sharpness and the angle and the everything. Wow. I will not get this again in maybe one day, but it's just perfect. I'm thrilled to have captured it, but I'm thrilled about the way it makes me feel, which is I can look at it and zone in on it and look at the texture on the leaf, the lines. It all brings peace and a feel-good quality to life. This in Maine, people build I forget what they call these. Do you know, Andrew?
What's the question?
The rocks, when they pile them on top of each other like this.
Yeah, I've seen various.
Anyway, they do this in a lot of places out in nature, and it's beautiful. And I just love the feel to it, very Zen-like quality. The one day I was walking at dusk,
That's
these
nice.
reindeer popped out in the snow. And yeah, I wasn't as steady as I could have been with my hand for that moment. Then they took off. But I actually like the
Is
little
that
blur in it.
is that the true color you got, or did you
True
add like a
color.
color grading? Oh, nice.
The twilight. Yep. Crazy, right? I know.
Beautiful. Yeah,
I know.
beautiful.
Yep. Just that winter light with the dusk, the twilight, whatever. The deer a little blurred, but everything else in focus in the background, handheld. Just beautiful, Or the opposite. One day I'm walking outside and these deer let me come really close to them because I had my smartphone and I don't like to zoom in too much. I came closer and closer to them carefully, and they let me nail this. I'll never get a moment like this with a buck or a mama deer and her baby deer, the
Sweet.
doe. Just sweet, or this guy fishing. I was way above him with the clouds reflecting and the rocks and the dog standing there behind him. Just those beautiful, quiet moments. Or a duck. This is the famous man-eater duck in Central Park. One of my favorite prints I've made. I have a print of this. Or a beautiful horse that I wandered. Also, the wonderful thing about photography, wander, explore. I can't talk to you enough. That'll be a whole nother session one day about wandering and exploring, getting lost. Let yourself get lost. Screw the GPS. Screw knowing where you are. Just get lost if you have the time to that day and wander. You never know what you may find. I happened upon this horse. I wasn't trespassing. A girl who knew the horse let me come up closer, and the horse just accommodated me with this beautiful portrait. You know, or my guinea pigs. They like to hang out looking outside the window.
Sweet. They think they're dogs looking out the window.
Shout out to Daisy and Bean. They love to look out the window. Or this frog. Most frogs would duck and leave. This frog was just standing there looking at me, man, sitting, I mean, in the water and the algae, you know, just gorgeous. You know, nature bonds with you a bit if you're calm around it. And the swans, look at the color, you know, beautiful reflections. Or the ice. No Photoshop here, folks. The ice was cracked in Ramapo, and it was solid. But then it froze. I mean, it froze and it was solid again, and it looked like, oh my God, I went nuts. It was like abstract beauty.
Yeah, nice.
And I sold a lot of these prints. It's a beautiful print. Or look up, and you'll capture the snow with that beautiful winter light. Or the reflections and everything else with iced over berries in nature. Or look up, you'll find that beautiful glow, you know,
nice.
Or fog, or there's the stillness of it all, or a beautiful sunset. Let's not forget about that. One of my favorite sunset shots I've ever captured, the magnificence of sunsets. If you're in the right place at the right time, it's amazing how quickly colors change in life, isn't it?
Nice.
This is also a favorite, the twisting tree with all the beauty behind it, or the other big trees looking up at them and capturing the weird angles, the beautiful angles. This just the other day, the last remnants of fall. Even though they've been eaten up by some insects, it just makes for that beauty. Or the water at a certain time of the day when the light's hitting it just right. No Photoshop, no crazy filters. Or the split in all the trees, of 4 trees together, but just that beautiful angle and dimension to it.
Now, Steffen, do you want to talk to people about your different social platforms?
Let's stop there. Sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then we'll just conclude with a few minor things I just want to say about just looking up, even in the city, where you can find peace that way too. I think it would be a great end to this. But please find me on Twitter, Instagram, or anywhere. I Spin It Social, Spin It Social everywhere, on Medium, Spin It Social Hour on YouTube, Instagram, Spin It Social. Please connect with me. I'd love to continue this conversation.
Twitter.
I will gladly share more insight privately and otherwise with people. I'm going to do more of these talks because I may do some of my Spin It Social Hour with nature photographers on these topics to explore more about it rather than just their journey, but also incorporate some of this. It's going to be possibly a new angle to my Spin It Social Hour. I think it'll be a nice segue into another part of the pandemic.
And if Facebook will open up the audio rooms to Android users, then
please do
audio room. It's like you're trying to copy Clubhouse. Like Clubhouse started with iPhone only and then open up the both.
I'm going to get more into audio. I like Twitter Spaces. I'd like to experiment with more audio, but you know, the hard thing for me, I just love showing so many visuals that I haven't totally transitioned over to it. Excuse me, yet. But let me quickly just show a few final images because I would just want to make a real fine point, if I may, about looking up in the city. I do a whole series of photography called Just Look Up, and in the city, you can find that same piece, though, folks. Because when you're in that zone, that's what it's all about. And when I'm out and about, you can find that. Thank you, George. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. It's been a wonderful hour. I don't want to take up much more time, but let me quickly. The light was hitting this wall that day with these beautiful dancers on this mural in Jersey City. Just really in that
patterns,
zone.
Yeah, the nice patterns of light.
It's all about being in the zone. I sold 3 prints in one night the minute I posted this that night.
Nice.
I don't sell as many prints as I'd like to. If anybody would like to buy any, I'm not making a pure pitch, but hey, I got to make a living on my passion too.
And so for that, if people did want to reach out to you,
reach out to me privately.
Social platform, which one is best, would you say?
Reach out to me on any platform, Instagram, Facebook. Anything. My email is spinitsocial@gmail.com. So there's a private group, so I'll share it here. Please connect with me at spinachsocial@gmail.com. But I have very reasonable prices. I accommodate everybody in certain ways. I have some standards, but we can work at it. This is a beautiful one. I took this just the other day when I was on my way to Carnegie Hall at dusk. Just, if you look up and you're in that zone, it'll bring you that peace too, in the middle of all that chaos in the city. Or being out in public, I try to capture those peaceful moments of people. Just, patterns, colors, angles, sizes, shapes, whatever it is. This is what, even in a subway coming out of Penn Station, there's that one person at the top or two people, that peace, that stillness of this photo with the globe up at top and the new Daniel Moynihan station at Penn Station, or the grooves and the colors of this building, or the glass. It's all about being in a zone and connecting with the peacefulness of photography. Or the Grace building on 42nd Street, that beautiful shape that I've always wanted to skateboard down as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a
yeah. Or this in Midtown on the West Side, or the Flatiron building, or Midtown once again, or the Met at night, handheld, no tripod, smartphone, just the light of the Met. You can do it too. It's beautiful. And I want to end with this one. Actually, no, these, the jazz man, the shadows, the Christmas is coming and the holidays. Get those beautiful shots that can bring peace in your life with photography, or traveling in Quebec, or simply in Chelsea on the West Side, but be kind and necessary out there with everybody. We've been through a lot, and keep that love in your heart for photography and visuals. And I'll end with that.
Nice. And Rose says you need to come to Auckland.
Oh, I want to, Rose. I want to come to New Zealand so bad. I'll be there one day. You can trust me on that one. I will be there, and we will do a shoot together and walk and enjoy. So
nice.
if you, anybody else, and then, I don't want to, I know it's been an hour, so.
Yeah, it's very nice. Great.
But Andrew, I really appreciate, when you talk to me about doing something new, I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this now. And you've really helped me. I created that blog post I did on Medium at Spinach Social, because I wanted to start thinking about it. So thank you. You made me think about starting to expand on this, because I think it's a great topic,
Yeah, Jonathan says,
thanks,
great show.
Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thanks. My man.
George says,
Jonathan,
come to Sherwood Forest.
I would love to. One day I will hit you up about that, George, if I come to the UK. I want to come again one day, and I will definitely look you up. Stay in touch with me, please. Jonathan and I have taken some really nice walks around Union Square and other places, and he does a wonderful bunch of photography as a flaneur in New York, which is just walking around and observing everything. And Jonathan is a flaneur extraordinaire, as I would say, extraordinaire, as we say in French, and a wonderful writer too. A wonderful writer.
Excellent. Well, it was a great time with you today.
Yeah, Andrew, you're amazing.
I felt like I was in nature seeing all that.
I hope I've relaxed you a bit. I want a beautiful background like you have, Andrew. Oh, don't fall asleep on us now. Somebody has to hit the stop recording button. But you know what? I hope this is illuminated the subject more for people. If you know anybody who would love to have me on to talk about it more, I really do want to make this a very important topic out there. I think I found something now, and I want to latch onto it because I think it'll center me more and help other people get centered. And you know what? Lord knows we all need that in certain ways. Some of us are experts at it, but I'm not.
We got some nice ending comments. We got
Steffen and Andrew, please stay safe. Thank you. Thank you. You too, Rodney. And I know it's been a tough, difficult road for many of us. The photos are on my Instagram. Actually, check out Jonathan on Instagram. That's right. He has wonderful photos of flamenco dancers too. It has been a great hour. Thank you, Rodney. And I feel better just for getting all that out there. And it's like therapy to me.
It's nice to have this kind of focus where you talk about your philosophy, your feelings, your experience, because we tend to have a lot of these live video events focused on like what to do in Photoshop or Lightroom. So it's nice to have a more photography based.
I want to make everybody laugh. Let's make everybody laugh going out for a second. Let me find on Instagram real quick. Let me go to Instagram. Take me 2 seconds here. And let me show everybody that pigeon photo that everybody's been going nuts over on every platform. Because
you might sell it if you put it up right now.
You know what? It's for sale. So here's the, oh, wait, so I have to stop sharing my screen with that.
Okay.
And then go to share again, share screen, Chrome. This is how easy StreamYard is, folks.
Yeah, it's quick.
And there's the pigeon. I've gotten comments about this.
Right? It's iconic.
I've gotten comments, Andrew, from this pigeon about it brought back memories of Pink Floyd to people.
Title it Jailbreak or something, you know.
People, Jailbreak, Pink Floyd, A Hole in the Wall, you know, the kid, what's this? How does the song go? There's just another, oh my God. I can't sing, so I'm not going to try.
Freebird.
Huh?
Freebird.
Freebird. Another guy on LinkedIn, a great friend of mine on LinkedIn. I'm drawing blanks here today with names. Sorry, that's really bad, folks. But he said the funniest. He said, modern day real estate listing here, folks. Something about, you know, how people live in these small apartments, you know, hole in the wall apartment available for those millennials or something. I don't know. It's very funny. Anyway, just really funny. This pigeon, this Jersey City, the area in Jersey City, there's this wall where there's these holes and all these pigeons like cohabitate there. And this one just happened to have his own little apartment.
Nice. I will thank you so much. And just wanted to remind everybody that, as usual, I mean, this is also been streamed to YouTube, and I'll also share it with Steffen so he can upload it to his YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
Twitter, great. LinkedIn, and the various groups on Facebook. And so if you are in the groups on Facebook, just keep your eye on the top pinned post. That is where the recording will be posted to, recording link, as well as any contests or special news events and other live video event announcements. So always keep your eye on the top pin post.
Yeah. And the one thing I will say also is that the holidays are coming up. I really make a lot of beautiful prints for the holidays in all sizes and everything. They make great gifts. And honestly, I've had so many compliments about the prints, the custom luster prints that I make. They come out beautiful, very reasonable prices. I'll work with everybody. Anyway, just a minor little holiday pitch.
And in general, I would say, you know, due to the pandemic, beyond just general tendency, let us all support small businesses. You know, the big companies don't need it so much. Us small businesses do. So think about supporting small business. You know, buy a print from artists that you like Steffen. You know, think of services that people give, like me, Photoshop tutoring and photo editing.
Right.
You know,
that's right.
Us all support small business.
That's right. And remember one thing, you know, I'm a photographer at heart and it's my passion and everything else, but I am a social media and visual strategist with, and always for hire and looking for a full-time job in social media and visual strategy. And I'm also an expert live stream producer, as Andrew and I both have become very, very well-versed in StreamYard and many other things. And Andrew, you're a gift to the photography community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, thanks again. It's been a great time being with you here. And,
thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us. And
all right, everybody have a great weekend, and thank you for your time, and thank you for everything. And be well.
Be well, everybody. And once again, keep your eye on the top pin post for the recording links. And
that's right.
You know, if you aren't already, do come join the Photoshop and Lightroom group.
That's right.
We just passed 245,000 members.
Woo! And, just that little number, man.
we may have a contest at 250,000.
Wow.
Some sponsors for it.
Wow.
So do come
and
join.
Keep your eyes out, folks. I think I'm going to do my next spin at Social Hour with a big nature photographer, but I'm going to find photographers who really believe in what I was just talking about, because I'd like to explore that for a while on my show. So keep an eye out for a new show. I think I'm going to focus on this for a while. And I think it'll be great to talk to photographers about how photography has helped their health, focus, mindfulness, and many other things. So I think I'm on to something here. So I'm thankful, Andrew, for you. You really made me think about it when you said think of a new topic.
Sounds good. Sounds great. Thanks for being here. All right, brother. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Take care. Thank you.